Hey guys, welcome back to another video here at All I See is W. I'd like to just talk about the overall market today in the stocks as well as in the Bitcoin mining space. We saw that before Thanksgiving, the price of Bitcoin during the week it went close to about 90,000. And one day before Thanksgiving, we saw the price of Bitcoin going back up, consolidating and having that immediate bounce back from that short hiccup. And most of you are wondering, when are we going to break through the $100,000 for the price of Bitcoin? Today, I want to talk more about the overall price performance with a Bitcoin mining company, Mara. I'll share with you overall updates and what I see my price targets are for Mara and give you more details on what I see coming up in the coming days, weeks, and months. And if you're wondering whether it's best to hold Mara, is it best to buy more Mara or dollar cost average, we'll talk more about all of that. But current state, I think that a lot of the profit takers from the overvalued companies, similar to like MicroStrategy, if you're an investor of MicroStrategy, congratulations, you made huge bucks in the year 2024. But just how with the stock market works, everything happens in cycles. It's a levels game. So a lot of profit takers are moving their money into undervalued stocks similar to Mara. And I think that with the Bitcoin mining sector, we haven't seen that upward trajectory yet. And there's going to be huge bull runs that's going to be coming from my perspective. Now, if you're new to this channel, before we begin, I'd really appreciate you hitting the like and subscribing for more related content. And just to give you an overall update with Mara, current state is Mara has about more than 300 million shares available. And from the 300 million shares available, about 20% is short interest uh, floated stocks. That's about 64 million shares as a couple weeks ago. Average volume, we see Mara's average volume hitting up to about 50 million shares with the 52-week range of sub close to about $12 to $34. And congratulations to Mara investors. The market cap reached close to about $9 billion dollars. How is Mara able to perform? Well, they have a lot of backup from their institutional holders. You have Vanguard holding about 36 million shares. You have other institutions, including Morgan Stanley, with close to about 6 million shares. So Mara is looking very good now that we're headed into the month of December very soon. And just with this week, we saw great movement, especially in the overall month. Mara, I mean, at one point it reached to about $18, and just recently it just ramped all the way up. Today it ran up to $30. Ended the market. People took profits. It ended the market at $27. But we'll talk more and look into the technicals and fundamentals data. Let's begin, guys. So here, what we're looking at is Mara's overall price action. As we scale back here, just back into 2021, we saw that Mara at one point hit $83. Just having that zoomed out perspective gives you an overall depiction of whether the performance of Mara is trending in the right direction. We see higher lows here, right? So just looking at 2023, we see here it was like when Bitcoin price dropped down from that bull run, the previous bull run cycle, $3. And then October timeframe, 2023, $7. So it doubled its price. Another high point here, $14 in 2024 when we saw that Bitcoin price started going back up this year. You see here 1387. And now the low point here as of beginning of November before like the 30-40% gain just in the month of November, we see it going up from the low point here of $15 and today ending at 27.42. Just looking at it from a 1 day chart here, we saw the high point of $30 and what we see here, this downward trend, people like to take profits, especially with swing traders, day traders. Folks took profits, taking advantage of the price of Bitcoin going down. Um, from what I'm forecasting, is Mara able to get up to its prior resistance? Just back in 2024, early 2024 time frame, February, we see the high points of like 33, $34. I think as we head into the upcoming week, December, we might see it test itself. If it gets beyond the 32.50 range, I think we're looking for new high points with Mara. I think that easily in the month of December, if it breaks through the 32.50 range, then we can start seeing it ramp up to $40. And once it hits the 40, depending on just how much resistance there are, is it bull running up? We can see Mara easily go up to about 50 from my perspective, but we'll see how that plays out. It really just depends on the market sentiment. But right now, I think the Bitcoin miner plays have that potential to really break out profit taking from big companies like MSTR. I think miners are really going to take advantage, especially because they can mine at a cheaper cost, a fixed cost, while MicroStrategy is only able to acquire Bitcoin through purchase price at a high price value, purchase cost. Now, let's just go through this article here. So, from Yahoo Finance, Mara Holdings position outperformed amid Bitcoin rally. So, Marathon Digital, I mean, this article is basically saying the value of Mara and MicroStrategy is just a mobile software company that buys and holds Bitcoin. Of course, granted, MicroStrategy has a bigger reserve when it comes to how much Bitcoin they hold on their balance sheet. But what's unique is that Mara, they're a specialized company with data centers and fleets to mine Bitcoin at a high throughput compared to other Bitcoin miners currently. Now, here, if MSTR stock price can gain much from riding the Bitcoin bull rally, then it can really happen with Mara. Mara can outperform the MSTR rally as we look in the remainder of 2024 and 2025. Mara, I mean, we have to look at them through the lens knowing what their business model is. One is that they are a primary Bitcoin miner. They also operate large-scale data centers involved in the production of new Bitcoin through mining operations. And they produce about 25 Bitcoins daily. I mean, you factor that in 25 times 100K, that tells you how much revenue they're taking in just alone each day on top of their low costs. They don't have too many employees, so that's really a good thing with bringing down the costs overall. And just with the fundraising that we all heard about recently with the 850 million zero coupon convertible note offering an additional 150 million option for initial purchasers to support the accumulation of Bitcoin and make initiatives to propel its financial performance, whether that's reducing costs. All of this is currently like at zero interest. So what did Mara do? They ended up acquiring 6,474 Bitcoin with the convertible notes offering that was approved. So that just adds more to their Bitcoin reserve. Now over 30,000 Bitcoins that they hold, which is the number one leading miner company when it comes to how much Bitcoins they have on their balance sheet currently. Now, with the third quarter of 2024, yes, we saw that Mara reported revenue of 131 million, which was a huge increase from last year, about 35%. However, we did see that there was an income loss. Nothing new there. That was a similar theme we saw across the board in different Bitcoin miners. But I think with Q4, we're going to see huge numbers all across the board with the miners. So I wouldn't be surprised to see like green zone time frame when we have that financial release. Along with the Bitcoin bull, analysts at Cantor Fitzgerald upgraded their target for Mara stock to $42. They believe that Mara can ride the Bitcoin rally better than MSTR due to its cost-effective Bitcoin mining operations that's cheaper than just purchasing Bitcoin, which now Mara has that additional playbook strategy. So that's why I think with my forecast price here, it aligns with other analysts from a near-term perspective. So I think there's huge potential here for Mara. And let's just look further in the details, looking at what Mara has here. So Mara purchased about 6,474 Bitcoin with the offering note. And just to give you some context here with their playbook, so yes, that 1 billion convertible debt offering, which is a page out of MicroStrategy's playbook of issuing corporate debt to acquire more Bitcoin, a strategy that's getting more and more popular. We're beginning to hear countries buy more Bitcoin, like Japan, like Brazil, China, Poland, all sorts, all around the world. So it's building up here. But let's just look at the U.S. companies here. Yes, we know Tesla is a holder. We know BlackRock is a holder of Mara. We know there's a number of miners here that hold on to Bitcoin, like Bit Digital, Bitfarm, Cypher, Hut 8, Riot, you name it, Core Scientific. Just in the technology sector here, even Reddit has a Bitcoin mogul, cryptocurrency companies. Coinbase, of course, has holdings, just various companies, but just looking at it through the lens of the global scale of companies, this is still a limited amount of companies that have Bitcoin holdings. So I do foresee in the new year, we're going to just see a huge influx where there's just going to be a conformance of countries trying to get more involved. This whole approach to build on their Bitcoin reserve, and that's really going to drive up the price of Bitcoin from a fundamental perspective. And when the price of Bitcoin goes up, that's really going to drive value, increase the market cap for Mara. I think that Mara's market cap will break through the 10 billion barrier very soon, and then it can easily double up. Based on the available share price, that will then equate to the overall share price that we shall see. Now, just going through just more updates here to share with you. So, public sector pension investment boards, this article was released today. They bought more Mara shares today, now leading up to about 624 thousand shares of Mara. That's not including other big companies like Vanguard with like 36 million shares, State Street Corporation with 1 million shares, George Capital Management with 7 million shares, including Morgan Stanley with like close to about 6 million shares. But that just tells you how much conviction these companies have when it comes to the overall price of Mara. I definitely do think that Mara has that potential to break out. We have to see it break through the $40 range first, and then we'll start reassessing, analyzing whether it can start testing its prior resistance back in 2021. Granted, yes, there's more available shares current state, but that doesn't mean that that potential is not there, especially now that we're in a Bitcoin golden era in this bullish run at this state. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate you smashing the like, subscribing for more related content, and would love to hear what your comments, questions, and Mara's price forecast is, as well as any other miners. Thanks, guys.